fucking steal.
Excuse me.
Shit! You're just pissing people off with your bullshit.
You can fuck yourself. I'll do whatever.
Careful.
Better not forget about that council assembly.
Sorry.
And give something to the church for my father's requiem.
Not only have they not been repaired, people are stealing the stones. Everyone's got a paved yard.
Be careful.
Huh?
Hear ye! Hear ye!
What bollocks?
Andreas Blumel. Bailiff of Kuttenberg and the council as a whole are looking for volunteers to repair the city walls.
Leave it!
No fucking way. He was staring at you.
What's going on here?
That brick's ugly. No, I'm not. But even if...
You're making a scene.
Worldly law says one thing.
What are you talking?
The Ten Commandments say thou shalt not...
There you go.
But they also say that...
No worries on that score.
That's also a sin. So let it go, and just be glad you...
You know what? Let's go. I wouldn't want to... No one else. Excuse me?
I apologize. Muslim!
What do you want?
I'll have a look.
I'd like to do something. I. And come again, sir.
Needles, thread, pin, silk thread.
A bless.
Sigmund!
Why, the finest wares, quality goods.
We've got got enough to go around. Anything you need.
God, I apologise. Oh. Good day to you.
I'll have a look at you.
Maybe next time then, sir.
The city council will be convening soon. I better get a move on.
Pancakes, bread.
How may I help?
I'll have...
Thin,
Nothing to your liking, sir.
hots for sale.
Careful.
Come and take a gander. We've got it all.
But high quality.
God will repay you for this 100 times over.
Greetings.
You must be Frank.
I am.
I'm Henry.
I am.
Supposing I took the job on for you. You can put your feet up.
Look here. It's not like I'm all that keen on them councillors stuffing. Why would you want to...
I just have to get... I have an important message for the...
But why would you want...
But it could be that someone from the council is mixed up.
I see. To begin with, you'll need confirmation that you've worked as a... Look here. Do you have any idea what's expected?
Of course.
All right, all right. Now, show the confirmation to the head butler. Tell him I sent you and think up some good...
That makes sense.
And you'll need a waiter's livery. I didn't get round to picking it.
Thanks.
You'd better not. God be with you, good sir.
Found a few coins for the
Come and take your pick.
Needle, thread, pin,
Careful.
silk thread.
The bell.
Tools,
iron tools.
tools here. Mugs, mugs for sale.
Good day to you.
I'd like to discuss...
We've got enough to go around.
You won't...
Anything you need.
You see? I'm glad you found what you were looking for.
Whether it rains or pours.
Rain or shine, our days are fine. What can I do for?
I hear one Franta...
Aye, the finest. But it was worth it.
As it happened. Franta... He gave me a certificate.
Woolen broadcloth. Quality fabric. Prices.
Wonderful day for
Excuse
a
me.
wonderful bird.
Oh, the wicked. I'll wear the five.
Franta Cooldown sent me.
Franta's not coming? What's wrong with him?
He got poisoned. Probably from food. He's writhing in agony. I turns...
Oh, that's it. We can't be without a waiter here when the king himself... So, have you got Franta's certificate?
Sure.
You've got a waiter, a tunic, yeah. It's a good thing you've got no steel on you. You need to be light on everything as it should be. Do you know what your duties are? For an inexperienced greenhorn like you, it'll be a great...
Well, I'll happily listen to any...
I should Now listen. A good waiter should stand in a corner, look willing and ready. In short, behave as if you're not... But when one of the gentlemen calls for wine, you run and pour... You'll find the pitchers on a table by the door to the chapel. You take one and go to their table and pour for them. White Tokai or red monastery wine.
White or red by the door to the chapel. Got it.
But for Councillor Adam of Zarzhitz, you must not pour at all. When he drinks, he disrupts and makes trouble. So the assembly has to be interrupted. We can't allow that to happen.
All right. Sir Adam...
And if the king himself wants wine, you pour for him with lowered eyes. Don't look at him.
Remember who wants what?
That too. But more importantly, do not disturb the councillors at their work. They have a... And in general, a good waiter has to be invisible.
Oh? I thought I had to keep my ears...
Well, yes. But only to what anyone wants from you. Understood?
What if I make...
Then I'll see to it that you won't get a... But I'm sure that's not going to happen.
I know everything I need.
Excellent. Put away your things here. It's easier to serve with a lighter load.
There are the pictures of wine. Hopefully I won't splash anyone's
And
shoes.
on top of that, the army was requisitioning from it. Should the town reserve have worse weapons than any räuber in the domain?
What are you getting at, Eldris?
I'm saying that the bandits who
apologise, sir.
freed Hinnick, the
Which
Dry
one?
Devil,
Tokai.
used that thing.
That's the white.
That Hackenbücher. Hand cannon. Can you believe it? Where did they get them?
You're the one who should know where they got them. Since you're a gunsmith.
What are you implying,
Sir?
Friedrich? All I'm saying is that they had them, Herr Gott.
Thank you,
It is eine Schande when outlaws have better weapons than the city garrison. And Herr König surely knows this too.
What is it, Eldris? You smell a deal?
What I smell is that your stubborn heads do not realize what Schwierigkeiten this is. The Dry
Hey,
Devil
wait
is
there.
running free.
Pour me some
There are
monastery wine.
Raubritter everywhere in the region.
I apologise,
We have
sir.
the army
Which
bearing
wine?
down,
Red
and you
and
want
quickly.
to defend yourselves with a few rusty halberds.
And who is it you want to fight, exactly? The merciful King Sigismund is providing us with protection, isn't he?
Der König and his army will not be here forever.
Shut up! The king can arrive at any moment.
Monastery wine.
What if he heard
Here.
What then? We're sitting atop the biggest silver heap
That's
in the
not a good
kingdom,
idea, sir.
and we're
This
supposed
is
to defend it
unbelievable.
with brooms?
You're right, Eldris. But where can we get the coin for better equipment?
We can always confiscate the property of the king's enemies, nicht wahr?
We are more than familiar with the
Tokai,
Yemen
and a full
state
cup.
of our armory. And the king is surely
I
aware of
apologise,
it as
sir.
well. Maybe
Which wine?
if he
Are you
waived some of the
colorblind?
taxes?
Right.
The king fears that this town will rise against him. He'll take the arming of the city's militia as a preparation for war.
So you suggest we just wait with arms crossed for the Raubritter to wreak
Sir?
havoc all around?
We can always ask the king to bring order to the
thank
realm
the
with his
Lord.
army.
But then the Dörfler will rise up.
I'm afraid I see no solution of the current situation. We shall wait and see what His Majesty thinks about the matter. Maybe we can change his mind. Vielleicht?
I'd like to report to the Honorable Council on the cleanliness of the city and the state of the public baths.
You mean baths or brothels?
Waiter, get me white.
Isn't it the same thing?
I'd like
So,
to
the
oblige,
cleanliness
but
of the city
I'm
is
out.
not
This is
what it should
unbelievable.
be. The current baths in the city fall far short of covering all the citizens' needs.
You're right.
More wine,
We
Master
do have
Bailiff?
the new-
I have enough wine. I need something from you. There is an item in my study that I confiscated from a female thief. She thought she could wriggle out of it by telling me who the item belongs to.
And what is it?
A silver goblet. She sneaked into Sir Ulrich's house and stole it. No one's noticed the theft yet. But if Ulrich finds out, he'll turn the city upside. Go and get it. And don't you make a mess.
And what else would you want?
Where can I find...
Use your eye and come right.
The profits would be much bigger. And all the other baths would chip in with their taxes, too.
What? More baths? Surely not.
The need for cleanliness and citizens' health
Nice.
should not be underestimated.
Whose silver might
Nor
this be?
overestimate. If someone needs to wash, there's a...
So,
I did.
not so loud. And now go back to your job.
There, a man can shave and take a... you-know-what.
So what? Going to the baths is neither a civic duty nor a right.
Have you forgotten the Black Death? A great many people died needlessly.
Are you questioning God's plan? The Black Death had nothing to do with the baths, unless the Lord wishes to punish the wickedness that's going on in there.
Keeping the city clean is important, but we don't have money to spare. Arguing about who is going to wash where and how is a waste of time.
I got word that Rutard has pulled off another deed.
That's nothing unusual. That old weasel will never accept that the city isn't run his way, at least until His Majesty honors us with his
fancy
visit.
some Tokai.
And as we know,
Refill, boy.
Gunslin absolutely hates him.
He can hate all he wants, as long as he does no damage.
White Tokai.
Ulrich, what have you got to say about it?
Me? Well, I'm not sure what you're implying.
I'm speaking about the Rutard incident. You were there, weren't you?
Sir?
Oh, that's just a small misunderstanding.
Well,
we've sorted it out and everything's settled.
My ears must be deceiving me. Are you defending Rutard? Besides, if his men attacked yours, as I've heard, then we have a good reason to punish him.
What happened there? Leave nothing out.
I don't like
pour me red wine.
True, but in this case it really was nothing.
Everyone in the city
apologise,
gossiped
sir.
about it.
Which wine?
I heard there were several
Am I
deaths.
speaking in
Did you? That's grossly exaggerated. I don't think Rutard will cause any trouble. He is sensible enough not to draw attention to himself while the king is
Sir?
here.
That's true. Because if we don't do something about
Thank
him,
you, waiter.
the king himself will put an end to him, and soon.
Unless he puts an end to us first. God knows what he wants to tell us.
If nothing happened, there's no point in dwelling on it. Let's move on.
I'm
I
sorry,
fancy some
Andreas, but I wouldn't brush it
Refill,
off so
boy.
quickly. Why do I have the feeling you're not telling us the whole truth, Ulrich?
Are you accusing me of lying?
Those are strong words, my friend. Nobody said anything like that, did they?
Then why doesn't he tell us what really
Well,
happened?
thank the Lord.
I'm not keeping anything from you, but there's little truth to the rumors circulating around the town. Yes, Rutard and I had a little disagreement, but we ended it quickly because his daughter wanted to get involved. I didn't want to expose the girl to any unpleasant sights.
So Rutard is hiding behind his own daughter's skirts?
As if it wasn't enough that he sent his son to die defending the city.
All right. If you really don't have anything new to say, let's turn the page.
Things have got out of order in the town. Some adventurers decided to take the law into their own hands and restore the tradition of duels. It's not only barbaric, but also illegal. I could understand it with mercenaries, students, and other scum of all kinds, but city councillors?
Be specific, Forsooker. Are you blaming one of us?
Ah, and look
I'd
who
like
spoke
some
first.
monastery wine.
First of all,
Refill my cup,
Wasn't
boy.
a duel. It was supposed to be an honorable combat. And I didn't even take part in it.
And that's the
Sir?
only reason you're still here on the council and not in the pillory.
If you want to blame somebody,
Vanish.
you should point the finger at the youngster here who's...
Excuse me.
Ah, never mind.
I suspect the gentleman from the city's sword-fighting school brought this custom to us.
Everything
it's
in
now
order?
run by
Not
the
quite.
German Menhard.
But I think you might be
Who
able
knows
to
who
help
that
me.
fellow-
What can I help you with, sir?
I left my gloves in the chapel. I took them off to pray, but then I rushed here and forgot to take them. I can't just get up and walk out now. But if you disappear for a little while...
All right. I'll get them.
I knew I could count on you. While you're at it, count how many figures on the mural have wings.
But why?
Because I'm bored. And because I told you. Get on with it.
Soon be the laughing stock of... whole town.
You can rest assured the whole town is already laughing at us all day long. So what if they have one more
That was
reason?
easy enough. And he wanted me to count
My
the winged
words
figures.
exactly. The town council is squabbling constantly at the Emperor Charles, and no one is left unscathed.
And you, a councillor, let people throw dirt on our work?
If I threw out...
So, let's...
I found your gloves.
Really? And did you count those...
You'll never get anywhere like this.
I counted 30.
That many? It seems a few more angels must... For a royal waiter, you don't have much of a knack for count.
Since there is the eternal dispute over the cathedrals, the building of the church is dragging on, and in the meantime, they are calling diocesan pilgrimages to settlers, right under our noses. It's just a village with a monastery, and they are going to make a royal mining city. Why can't we build faster? Hire more craftsmen,
there,
start
lad.
with night shifts.
Haven't you noticed there's a war going on?
Don't you skimp on me.
Are the experts from far off supposed to work in a city under siege?
Besides, I get the feeling there's something other than the welfare of the city behind your
Monastery
complaint.
wine.
Oh, you
Here.
do you? And what would that be?
You, lad.
Like, for instance,
You look familiar
that you'd
to
like
me.
to have your own
Have we
altar
met?
there?
So what if I would?
Well, naturally.
Hold your horses,
I
gentlemen.
go to your tavern almost
That
every
space
day.
in the side
Really?
gate is mine.
Then hell
You
freezes
must
over,
have
my
decent
friend.
wages to be
Your
able to
place is
visit
at
the
least
best
2
tavern in
steps
town
behind mine.
regularly.
The swordsmith dares to insult me? Ha! I think not.
Excuse me. You wanted to buy yourself an altar in the cathedral, just like you bought yourself a seat in this council.
How dare you? I acquired my seat for the services our guild provided and still provides to the crown.
Well, I hope you're not supplying equipment to the army. If that's all they have, they would be defeated by that
Okay.
bunch of ne'er-do-wells
And a
from
full
the
cup.
alehouse on Hopbrink.
What ne'er-do-wells?
Those wrestlers of theirs, of course. People from the whole town go to watch them brawl.
Oh, this is
Sir?
news to me.
Because it has all been sorted out.
It's
Not
you.
long ago, the
I
guards
see you
raided
come up
and
in the
threw them
world.
all out.
From a bathhouse
yes,
boy to a
I
waiter.
forgot.
You'll
What
go
do
a
we
long
have
way.
to discuss next?
I might make councillor one day.
You're a merry soul, lad. I like that.
I'm telling you, something is being planned. Oh, I doubt it. No one's gonna tackle Rootard.
Azonal Juchek Össe, Elegiop Katonaikat, Ishkelkinek Utra.
You have nothing to fear. Not you.
Like this plan of fights!
Come now, Father. Put a little life into your dying. Seen more cheerful priests at funerals.
I'd rather be at one than here. I hoped I'd never see this fortress again in my life.
Unpleasant memories?
You have no idea. I didn't part ways with my father on entirely good terms.
And now you're 2 decades older and wiser. And you saved my neck and Henry's too.
None of that matters.
Who knows? Maybe that 20 years has changed a thing or two.
You know what? Let's drop the subject. Do you know any of the guests here?
Most of them I'm seeing for the first time in my life. It's a pretty varied company. We've had bandits, nobles, burghers, a priest, and even a rabbi coming together here. It's like the start of some joke.
Wait a moment. Rabbi, you say? The Kuttenberg rabbi?
Yeah. He came with a retinue. But for now, they're keeping most of it. Maybe you should go and welcome some of them. After all, this used to be your home. And your respect.
I wouldn't be too sure. Who's that French fellow you brought here from Malachov?
The great Baron Brabant. Been everywhere, knows He's got more fairy tales than my old nanny.
Can he be trusted?
He's a blabbermouth, but a harmless one. Besides, he defended Kuttenberg. And you know how that... If he were on Sigismund's side, he'd hardly have been locked up with me.
How does it feel to breathe free air?
What can I say?
Or, until you be...
No fear of that in my case. I intend to enjoy life to wine, women, and...
What do you plan to do now?
What do you think? Get drunk, woo one of the local wenches.
Have you perchance forgotten we're supposed to be this?
I'll leave that to the older and wiser.
Dear me. I'd rather creep off into some... But I suppose I'll have to introduce myself to...
Indeed you should. After all, you are...
Oh, don't start with that. I'd like to...
In that case, you should sound out Radzig and Hanush and find out what they're...
God be with you, my friend. And with you.
You're seeing this?
God bless. Schön dich zu sehen, mein Freund.
Such rare guests. One wouldn't expect to find among Christians representatives of your community. I'm Godwin. My greetings to you.
Peace be with you. Neither would one
How do you know I'm a priest?
It's not difficult to tell, and we are both a little unfamiliar. I'm Yehuda, leader of the rabbinical court in the sacred community of Kuttenberg. And this is...
We would rather not be here at all. Why did we have to come here, Sadie? Can you not see everyone is staring?
Because we all need, and why would they not stare? When...
Are you here to arrange some trade?
We have more serious matters. The situation in the town and the kingdom. You have men and weapons.
Why are you telling this to a Koimer? You wanted to deliver what we brought to the Margrave and quickly leave.
Everything in good time, Samuel.
Did you come to lend money to the
Not to lend, but to give. Help given to the needy is repaid.
You don't even know if you can trust them. With that money...
You remind me of my young friend Henry.
Henry? That messenger of Radzig...
You know each other. You're both around the same age.
That would be him. We did not get off to a very...
I reckon the two of you would hit it off. For a young stripling, he's been through plenty. He was supposed to become a blacksmith, and instead, he's roaming the world.
Wait, a blacksmith, you said? From Scarlet's?
Aye, that's right.
I knew of someone.
My daughter knew him most, and that is why Samuel is in this world. For our numer...
Maybe he was my father. but he certainly didn't act like one. Ma raised me on her own.
And that was all for the best.
Why? He should have taken care of me, but instead he fathered another bastard.
Don't make hasty judgments. As far as I know, Martin didn't have any other children. At least, none of his own. He took in Henry, and raised him as his own, on the orders of the Lord of Skalitz, Sir Radzig, Henry's real father.
I don't care if he took care of 20 other mamsas.
That boy's blood father denied him, just like yours.
A person can't choose their parents. And Henry only found out...
Enough. I'd rather have a drink. Will you have one too, Zayde?
For that, there...
Good health.
L'chaim.
Everything all right?
I can't wait for it to end, so we can...
I reckon you'd have to be pretty brave.
Or pretty pissed off. We will leave as soon as we... Anyway, all of these worthy gentlemen...
Would you tell me something about your
What can I tell you? It was never exactly glorious. And now
surely it won't be...
There are many fools who would rather take out their gall on us and start to fight among themselves. In times of uncertainty.
I'm glad you finally accepted my invitation. Almost lost all hope.
Not that I didn't want to, but understand that my absence from the city council would have serious consequences.
I understand.
Good health to you, sir. I'm Godwin. A friend of that lad you arrived with, Henry. We don't know each...
Baron Vauquelin Brabant, Chevalier d'Arezzo. The last of my... I am a warrior, a traveler, a strategist, and also...
My word. Isn't that exhausting?
Mais non! And I'm glad to meet a new friend.
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Baron. How did you end up in...
Ah, c'est une histoire compliquée. It was after I... and only lost it narrowly by...
That needs some explanation.
Oh, misère.
You're quite mistaken, Monsieur Baron.
Ah, this Bohemia is a strange land. I have seen farmhands, children. Do tell me about it. No doubt you...
My last big battle was at...
I've heard of this battle.
Aye. And it was there I decided it...
Then, what are you doing here?
Ah. You say you're a poet?
Jamais. Is poetry nothing but a fuss to you? I think not. To recite, I require the proper mood.
Where have you been on your travels?
But of course, if you are interested in my greatest journeys, then I have traveled with a merchant, and if you are interested in my greatest deed, then...
And you wouldn't by any chance know the Pope?
Which one do you mean? I spoke briefly with, but...
How come almost...
I am operating, as they say. My great benefit is my strong connection there. Everyone knows my name. Here in Bohemia.
Dear friends and allies, in these troublesome times, you all know why we're here. The question remains, what to do next? Sigismund is facing troubles in Hungary, and here, too, he is up against resistance. He's a capable strategist, but a poor diplomat. Mark my words. If we wait him out until winter, he will leave of his own accord.
By winter, he'll have torched all our fortresses and carried off everything that we possess.
Are we seriously gonna wait and cower in a corner? Or are we gonna drive them out in shame? A few well-planned raids and we could have him in our fists!
At what price? To spare? Has any of you got men and money to spare?
We don't have men out there.
Yes, we do.
We do not.
Jobst is right. That whole sun won't fall easily.
Only we can't wait.
Are we to get ourselves killed?
Or end with nothing?
Friends, we'll get nowhere like this. Let's adjourn ourselves and try to think it through.
Well, that went just as expected. Good health.
And to yours. Could it have gone any other way when there's so many of us here?
I would have expected a bit more sense from Jobst, of all people. He made an amateur's mistake. But it's hard to be angry with him when... By the way, I'm John of Liechtenstein. And you must be Godwin, the son of...
That's not a thing I've ever boasted of. How do you know that?
I have my sources. From what I've heard about you, I'd judge you could be quite useful.
Is that so?
Indeed. And that's why I'd like to ask something.
As it happens, I've got nothing better to do anyway.
Excellent. I expect we can agree that Jobst's plan...
That's a weak word.
And the way it stands at the moment, he'll never get the support of the Council. But I have an...
Well, I'm curious how you hope to shut Zizka up and satisfy the ones who want peace.
We'll sit and wait quietly until Sigismund withdraws of his own volition, as Jobst proposes, but we'll be waiting in the military camp of our huge new army.
If Sigismund decides to mount an attack on the camp, it'd be a massacre.
Ah, but it won't. Sigismund's army is demoralized and weakened. And besides, he's running out of resources. He's able to tackle fortresses that aren't able to defend themselves. But he won't engage an equal force on the battlefield.
But he can't retreat either. That would be a disgrace.
And that's exactly why we'll wait until he's called back to Hungary by events there. For the plan to work, we need allies, their money and their determination. We've already set the ground for it. We just need negotiators who will push the right people in the right direction.
Are you saying you set everything in motion even before Jobst?
More like in Paran. If we find support and make it look like the whole thing was his idea, we'll all win.
Why are you doing all this anyway?
Because I want to put a stop to the senseless deaths. And also because I'm happier with Wenceslas on the Bohemian throne.
You've got an interesting way of approaching things.
You're certainly not the first to tell me that. I take it as a compliment.
I'll help you. What exactly should...
I'll give you 3 names. But if you can get those 3 on us, meanwhile, I'll take care of Jobst.
What if it doesn't work?
I refuse to even consider that outcome. Because it would mean
Why me, of all people?
Because you've got a head on your shoulders. You know how to talk, and you and your friend Henry are similar in that respect. That's why I know I can count on you. There aren't many like you two.
Tell me a bit more about those people, so I know who I'm dealing with.
Certainly.
Bocek of Kunststadt.
That's just the thing. He's got massive estate. He doesn't play the big game. He always goes for the sure thing. But once he's made his mind...
Alder the Alderman.
He still is. The only one who only he's here, instead of cozying up with Sigismund in Gutenberg. So his day's in the count, but he'll continue to have a strong influence on the guilds and the rich burg.
Anna of Waldstein. The widow of that rich miner.
Wenzel Bartosz. And I'm not surprised you forgot.
I was quite surprised to see her here.
A male affair? Anna is holding back and behaving like but don't trust appearances. She's got claws, she knows how to do her sums, and she certainly has no love lost.
And what use can she be to us? Apart from her late husband.
She's as sharp as they come when it comes to trade. And there are wicked tongues that claim Bartosz acquired most of his wealth, and that it was thanks to her.
I'll get on it then.
I wish us both luck.
Success to our plans.
I tell you, nobody has the likes of these.
Not even Bocek?
Not even Bocek. And he's a great lord.
Just a moment.
We're trying to board.
Hey! Where's that beer?
I'd like to check your horses out and see if they're as good.
Ha! Even better. But you won't believe it until you...
And you might not believe your...
Well. I wanted to... You wanted to apologize for crashing into my home without it by your leave. Or to arrest my...
I want to have a word with Alder.
Well, I'm having a word...
I apologize.
For interrupting our conversation?
Is that your...
Unfortunately. Speak up, then. What are you doing?
I came with a delegation from Sir Hanush of Lipa.
Is it?
Why so strict?
20 years ago, he was nothing but a cheeky brat. Only interest, I got him a place at the Archbishopric. Only it wasn't long before they kicked him out. And then, I find out he said that he took his boozing and whoring along with him. Lost...
Try saying it again a little louder. They might not have heard you in the outer...
You have the impertinence to show me your face after the way you disgraced...
I wouldn't set foot here if I had a choice. Better to be a priest in some backwater than have a father like you.
How dare you?
You're as shit a father as I am a son. We've got nothing to blame each other for. And now let me speak to Alder.
You're dishonoring your host.
I can't dishonor someone who has no honor. If you had any, you'd be...
That's enough.
Christopher.
You won't get away with those insults. I challenge you to a duel.
We've never met, and we have no cause to be enemies. Take back your challenge, and we'll sort things out peacefully.
You've got no other option. You insulted Father's honor.
Gentlemen, surely there's no need for violence. I can have a word in private with Lord Odorin, the second, as he desires, and then...
Out of the question. This uncouth lout needs a lesson, and he's got plenty to learn from Christopher. By God's grace, I have at least one son I can be proud of.
You want satisfaction? You'll get nothing but shame. As always. Suit yourself, then. We'll fight. Come to the outer courtyard, but quietly.
After you.
Well, that's that.
Shouldn't we rather...
No, Christopher...
Make room for us. We'll just settle a very private matter. It's an honorable duel, man against man. Stay back.
Whack!
Look in my eyes, not at my sword.
Enough. That will do. My God. Where did you learn to wield? Father always said you were a good-for-nothing boozer.
I was in a war. Right after they kicked me. And you ought to know yourself. Not all the faults that Father sees are real.
Aye. Well...
So Father would be satisfied. I know. Only he'll never be satisfied. The sooner you realize that, the better.
I thought he was the way he was because his first son let him down. And he hoped at least his second would become...
Not at all. I remember him the same since I was a nipper. When I was 6 years old, I fell off a horse. He wouldn't talk to me for a week, because...
The first time he took me hunting, he let me starve for 3 days until I was able to shoot my...
Only 3 days? He got soft.
I always wondered who you were. There was never much talk about you at home.
Look, I really did fuck up everything I could. I brawled and... But now, I have a chance to put things to rights a little.
And...
Aye. The outcome of this war depends on it.
That sounds very important. Considering you and Alder are both pretty small players. After your encounter with Father... Actually, I don't think you should even attempt it. Unless you want to anger Father.
What else can I do, though?
I'll talk to him myself. He'll hear me out for sure. But you'll have to...
Do I have any choice?
If it's really that important.
All right, then. You've heard Yob's plan, right? It's a nice idea, but we can't...
Only no one's going to pay for one, because that would be an outright admission of...
Alder's got some clout with the councillors and burghers who are loyal.
I expect Alder's not the only...
You got that?
Leave Alder to me. The plan's...
I don't know how to thank you.
You can drag me to a tavern sometime.
You're starting to sound like a brother. You seem a bit...
Oh, these grand aristocratic... I'd be happier if they just told me in the morning how it all...
But then you'd miss all the
Oh?
It seems Liechtenstein's looking for allies.
And how's he going to do it? Didn't you see them all fighting tooth and nail here just to...
Well, different...
The only approach that'll work with Sigismund is
Let's hope young Lord Capon manages to stay free for a while.
That's one thing you can always count on him for.
God forbid.
In that case, it'll be up to you. I'm sure you wouldn't leave him.
A lot of people think the wealthy burghers weather out of...
No, that's to be expected. As long as Sigismund has...
Well, at least there's...
Sigismund confiscated his castle and half his estate, not to mention that his son...
Sir Bocek, I need to speak...
A man hardly puts his cup to his lips, and someone, Jobs, comes up with a plan as full of holes as a beggar's shoe.
On the contrary, I've come here with an idea how to...
Does that improvement include a few
A few thousand men-at-arms as a convincing argument. Only in order to get...
You've got my attention.
Are we not on the same...
We are, but an alliance is of no use if it doesn't...
Of course. Once it comes to...
You can talk, since you haven't got a pot to piss in yourself. I have a lot of property, lots of subjects to look after, and along with that, the Lord bless... I can't risk it all in a conflict.
So you need guarantees that you won't be left standing in the cold...
My guarantee is called Yitka. If I succeeded in marrying her off to another strong house, I'll have the certainty that
Maybe it's enough to find a suitable...
Perhaps someone of suitable standing who Yitka would also gladly accept.
I believe Licht...
And an uncertain party. Besides, he's inconvenient for Sigismund.
How about young Lord Capon?
He's a youngster still.
He may be young, but he's got something between his ears. He's got battle experience. And when he gets the estate that's his by right...
If he gets it. Right now, Hunnish lords. On the other hand, the lords of Lipa have a good reputation. Maybe it's not...
So?
You're selling the skin of a... First, I want a confirmation that the wedding will...
And what?
I don't care what the young lord thinks. If he agrees, I'll be...
Pushing a friend to tie the knot to save...
The kingdom will not forget his sacrifice.
My wife hates it. My head and my guts hurt. Sometimes
Greetings.
my whole body.
Hey, and that's exactly why.
God, Sir Hanush,
You do?
I've gained us a powerful ally.
And who is it? I hope it's not one of...
On the contrary, it's Bocek, the Elder of Kunstadt and Podjebrad.
Kunstadt? My Christ, he's the last one I'd have expected to step up. How the hell did you do it?
Well, I explained to him how such an alliance could be mutually beneficial.
Mutually? What do you mean?
He's got a pretty serious personal interest in this... bond.
Stop beating around the bush and spit out what you promised him.
Lord Kunstadt has a niece, so... I arranged a betrothal for young Lord Capon, with your blessing if you agree.
Hans Capon is to marry Yitka of Kunstadt. Godwin, you conniving old bastard!
Oh, fuck.
I don't believe it. So, young Hans is to marry Kunstadt's daughter?
Niece.
If you're serious, I'll make sure that you get the Rattay parish.
Or you could make me the abbot of Sassa. Or what about a bishopric?
Forget it. Soon I'll be paying for a wedding. Not a word to Hans. I want to tell him myself. But let's drink to it, shall we?
I must sadly decline, sir.
I'll take that personally.
Godwin, we didn't have much time for conversation on the way.
With pleasure, sir. As it happens, there's something I'd like to ask you. What are you expecting from today's gathering, my lord?
Well, I have no great expectations. But, all going well, we may be able to establish some joint... As long as we proceed without prior agreement and mutual support, we will be very...
I couldn't help but notice your son has...
To put it mildly, but not to do him an injustice, knowing young Lord. Although, if they didn't pull each other out of trouble...
Wise words. Still, Henry's come along...
You know, I am. And Martin would also be glad.
May God grant him eternity. Where did you leave Sir Divish? Surely he's not too old to miss out on such an event.
Haven't you heard? Lady Stephanie is with... No one even imagined Divish would produce an heir.
As they say, doesn't matter who needed the dough. As long...
Godwin.
Well, it could be a miracle. Praise the Lord! May I have a...
You? Anytime. With you, unlike this pack of...
have you...
Their forefathers lived up to their ears in doubt, and they think that can...
But surely they're not older.
Allies or not.
Young Lord Capon is finally...
He got a harsh lesson. But at least, but if not...
Do you think there's really going to be a war?
I sincerely hope so.
What do you think?
Are you testing me? Job's called.
To turn out well. Some are up to their elbow.
Better make sure you're among the latter, then. And in the meanwhile...
I've got some good news.
The bad news is there's hardly any females in this. There's some old bat standing there with 2 young girls, but she wants to at least.
You're going to get married.
Good luck. Is she at least pretty?
I don't know. I've never seen her.
You're really a barrel of laughs, Godwin. Wait till Hannah hears this. Now, enough nonsense.
I'd better slow down.
Ah, what can one expect from a...
God be with you, noble lady. There's something I'd like...
God be with you.
Your diplomatic support.
No beating around the bush, eh? I like that.
Margrave Yob's plan has some gaps.
To muster an army that Margrave can't...
Christ. Be praised. You're astute.
I should say so. All sorts of people have their eyes on my money, and divining their intentions is a necessity. Although, between the two of us, it isn't hard to...
How do you know Liechtenstein's behind...
I know most of the people here very well. Many of them certainly have doubts about the Margrave's plans. But they wouldn't dream of stating them aloud. While it seems...
I'd say you have a better nose for...
Not only for people, but also for...
Then you're in the right place.
The wine here is average. So?
Nothing more than support and resources for an army to...
Nothing more? I'd say that's plenty. And why ask me for help?
It's not only your money we're interested in. You're well able to negotiate and trade. And if you were to take part in our plan...
Then I'd be helpful to you on 2 fronts. If you want me to support you, you must give me...
Do you have something in particular?
Well, one of the guests here had...
Who's that?
Haman Alder. Now, if you were to switch these papers for the ones he brought with him, I would support...
Have you fallen out with...
No. Alder is innocent in the matter. My relatives from the House of they're disappointed that I dare, and the fact that I'm handling his...
And these papers,
My relatives somehow dug up some trade contracts between myself and certain...
You were dealing with the...
They were not the enemy at the time. My conscience is clear.
I'm supposed to roll.
Haman Alder was given the documents to deliver to the... He hasn't yet had a chance to look at them.
And the papers I'm supposed...
Just insignificant documents. If the incriminating...
All right, I'll help you.
Alder will surely have the papers in his saddlebags. which he left in the shed. Bring them to me, but watch yourself. Odorin's groom had...
What brings you here? Greetings.
Aren't you a bit bored?
What's your problem? The whole...
God forbid. But standing around...
Not really.
Shall we roll...
Well, I'll wait at the table. Hey, you! What are you doing here?
I'm waiting here.
Oh.
I've been watching you for a while. And I have a feel...
Who in God's...
In God's name indeed.
Is it that obvious?
Don't blaspheme.
And in the morning, when I met him, even though my back...
That's... And then lying about it too. You won't. As long as you repent.
I'll start right away.
No burgers,
I've got those papers.
Quiet! You don't have to...
Lady, with all the clamour going on here they are.
You're more capable than I expected. Thanks.
You're welcome.
As agreed. I will...
Thank you, noble.
Yes, quite. But let's drink to...
How could I refuse a toast?
And to the success...
Hold on.
Sir Bocek, your niece Yivka can start preparing for her wedding.
So Hanush agreed.
Indeed.
Then I will fulfill my...
Thank you, Lord of...
Enough formality.
Cheers to the beautiful Lady Yivka.
Here's to a good...
Out of here with a clear plan. But maybe...
Gentlemen, I think we can raise our goblets to the successful conclusion of the negotiations.
Is this supposed to be your secret weapon?
Like I said, miracles happen where you least expect them. Tell me, Godwin of the House of Odorin, what news do you bring us?
I bring nothing from the House of Odorin. But the widow of Waldstein and Sir Bocek of Kunstad will support our cause.
Both of them? Good heavens, what did you promise them?
This is going to be a long story, and I could use a drink. So if you'll excuse me, my lords...
It would seem that we have all benefited from the break in these proceedings. New alliances have been formed. And I have also changed my plans. We shall still wait for Sigismund to withdraw his troops of his own accord. But we will wait with an army at our backs.
And how are we to raise an army? Wasn't it made clear at the meeting that no one wants to take the risk?
The only thing made clear was that each of us alone is weak, and that we could not find common ground. But that has now changed.
King Wenceslas is, by the will of God, the Balbatim of all his subjects. Not only the Christians, our community, and not only ours, will give you coin.
The Kuttenberg houses are still loyal to King Wenceslaus, and we stand with Lord Ruthard.
And if that's not enough, the houses of Leipa and Kunstadt will unite and march side by side.
My niece, Yitka, will take young Lord Capon as her husband.
Lords Kunstadt, Hanush, Radzig, and I will set out immediately. God willing, we will be back within 3 weeks, along with an army.
Now those are words worthy of a nobleman.
My friend, I still believe that words are more powerful than swords. And our words will ring in 1,000 voices to the glory of King Wenceslas.
After we conquered the city, you promised to restore order immediately. And then I find out things are even more disordered than before.
Your Majesty, we are sorry. We will put it to rights.
You've already said that. I want to hear real solutions.
We will put more guards on the roads and toughen penalties. We can have a few captured bandits executed as an example to others.
We do not care about bandits. We care about rebellious nobles and burghers. What will you do with them? How will you solve the chaos in the town administration, the rebellious miners, and the dismal yields? And how is it even possible that a rebellion against the king is smoldering here in the city?
What do you mean, sire?
I hear the resistance is coming from the Jewish quarter, from right under your noses. Why haven't you done anything?
We don't know who is behind this. Without evidence, we cannot punish them.
Otto von Berghoff did not ask questions in Prague either. He acted. And I advise you to do the same. Find a couple of wretches in a hole somewhere, point them to the Jewish quarter, and give them free rein to do anything. The city's Jewish community was and still is on Wenceslas' side. They need a warning.
We do not even have enough men to...
Marquardt, could you spare a few men for a while?
Of course, sire. I'll assign them to Eric. He'll take care of it.
So you see, all you have to do is make sure the city rabble get their share. You could at least manage that, couldn't you? And if the thought should cross your minds that you would get rid of the debts to the Jewish moneylenders this way, forget about it. Your debts will remain, up to the last groschen. Only now you owe us directly. And while we are on the subject of money, has the yield from the mines finally matched last year's?
Sire, the deposits are dwindling, and mining is becoming increasingly difficult. And to make matters worse, the miners started rebelling.
Don't take us for a fool. They'll stop rebelling when you pay them proper wages.
Your Majesty, we can't do that.
Silence! How dare you oppose the kingdom's protector? You're a bunch of incompetent sycophants! Chicken shits! Not any better than the scum hiding in the forest.
I apologize, sire. I'll do everything in my power to...
All I hear from you over and over again are excuses and prevarication. And results? None. I therefore placed the city council under the authority of Sir Marquardt von Aulitz, who is present here, with immediate effect. He will make sure you finally do your duty.
But, sire, that would be a violation of the privileges granted to us as a free mining town.
Silence! I am the only guarantor of your rights. You have to earn your privileges, not hide behind them. During my brother's reign, this idleness was perhaps tolerated. But that is over now. You were given a few simple tasks. But instead of working on them, you idled in the baths and lined your pockets. And let the traitors cast their nets undisturbed. But unlike my brother, I am capable of creating order. And I assure you, I do not distinguish between those who stand in my way. Be they beggars, noblemen, or city councillors. You have 2 weeks to restore order in the city and increase mining output. I want clear results, and you answer only to me and Sir Marquardt von Aulitz now. No one else. The council is dismissed. You, don't go anywhere, boy. Be so kind and remain here. Our throat has become rather dry. And we still wish to speak with our friend von Aulitz.
Yes, sire. As you wish, sire.
Between the two of us, Marquardt, was I not perhaps too harsh on them? And speak candidly, we have had enough of false flattery.
Sire, you were harsh, but rightfully so. These councillors, they need to be shown their place. You suffered their insolence for far too long. And the same is true of the Jews.
We know. Otto repeated to us several times that it is time to strike against them. We are glad he's not here. He would be intolerably self-satisfied if he knew we had heeded him.
Boy, can't you see the king's cup is empty?
You tend to us as if we were infirm. Boy, pour us a monastic wine. The monks had a good meal. We have concerns, friend. The Hungarians are rebelling. Our army is falling apart, and we have enemies here on all sides. Would we had a proper army instead of human mercenaries? They cannot be relied upon. And we are no closer to our goal now than a few months ago. Thank you. It is a good year. If our father were still alive, he would have been astonished by the mess that a few years of Wenceslas' reign brought to us. With a single word, he would have put the nobility in their place, and the country would flourish. God grant him eternal glory.
We won't need much more time. We'll arrest the traitor Odorin, and the rest will fall in line.
You say the others will be brought into line, but what do you know of them? We know only a few of them. But there's a fortress standing on every damn hill here. What side are their lords on?
We'll find out soon enough, sire.
If only Wenceslas were not such a stubborn ass, and relinquished that throne that he has no use for anyway. The nobility, on the other hand, found a ruler like him very useful. They made a puppet out of him.
Once you restore order, they'll join you. All you have to do is promise them the privileges they lost during Wenceslas' reign.
First, they'd have to be willing to make peace at least among themselves. Jobst does everything he can to sow chaos, so that he himself emerges victorious in the end. This business makes me thirsty. Pour me some of that red, boy.
I think Jobst is just waiting for the right moment. He'll switch sides when it suits him.
Maybe. But first I'll have to conquer a few more cities, and get a couple more lords on my side. Then they take the threat of war seriously. And Hungary. If Bohemia is a wasp nest, then Hungary is a viper's lair.
You will follow in his footsteps, sire, as soon as you get the chance.
But the wine is good here. To your health, Marquardt. And to your health too, boy. May your children grow in a land ruled by a good king. You did a good job, waiter. You can be proud of yourself.
To your health, your majesty.
First, we need to crack down on the biggest troublemakers.
We're working on it. While the consul was meeting, Otto von Berghoff and his men set out for Rabosch. Alderin won't give you any more trouble.
He and Ruthard are in it together. Once we get Oderin, we can handle Ruthard easy. Rabosch will be yours. After all, Otto has already got Malishov.
I appreciate your confidence, sire.
But the devil knows there are a lot more strongholds to conquer here.
For the king, red wine, boy.
No, we shall have white. We have had enough of red.
White it is. Quickly! If Rabosch falls, others will follow.
I think von Berghoff's little contraption will find its use again.
If need be, we could use it to raise this town hall too. And I have some suggestions for other candidates.
Not so fast, my friend. It's a wondrous tool, but we can't rely on it forever.
But to bring it here to the square and point it at the city hall? Those sycophants would only benefit from a warning like that.
It's a splendid idea, but it won't be necessary. The councillors are quite fearful enough already that they can hide nothing from us.
There's been enough fretting, sire. You shall see. Soon we will drink to the conquest of another fortress.
You are right. So then, to victory. And you, boy, will you drink with us? So that you shall have something to tell your children and grandchildren.
To victory, sire.
To today's, and those of the future.
Surely you don't want to break in?
I'm filled with grief.
Did you hear that Lord Constant's beast is minding the Lord?
I couldn't resist the either. The sausages were awesome. When those two girls
How would you like a wine, Chevalier?
The art of winemaking. Recipes are passed on from... I myself was... Even the French. The king himself had...
I expect his lordship had the best barrel.
Best. This wine would perhaps be suited to the inferior.
I couldn't resist either. Lost your hearing. The sausages were awesome. And those two girls.
You in need of... I'd like to drink a toast with you. So touching. Come now. I never had one. Truly. Not a bit. I'm just a cynic. In that case, in quite simple... Fuck. I've got a tongue like a... Well, get some... His lordship is so unsteady. To hell with that keg slop. I had my eye on him all evening. And left the rest of us to drink cheap dregs. You can bet on it. I don't doubt...
I still can't wait for that ginger custard. Just a bit longer.
You all... I thought your Alishka was brown-eyed, though.
All right. Sorry, mate, but you're right about Sigismund. The sooner he's gone, the sooner life returns to his
I'd rather eat She'll be fine. You're right. I don't know about you, but I can barely stand. And to stand over
was going to dance somewhere when I certainly left a long time ago. I swear to God.
At the French court, I drank many under the table. Even the notary...
Oh, downstairs. They're all needed in the morning.
Sorry.
From cleaning up this pigsty? Anytime.
I need help. I mean the ones...
And you're one.
It's not for me.
I see. Anyway, I don't know nothing about no one. Try asking my mom.
I've come to rescue you.
Really?
Well,
Of course. What else? Do you play dice?
You mean...
You strip if you like. Either way, you'll end up bare-arsed and with...
All right.
I'm curious to see you play.
I'm telling you, give it a year and Sigismund will be gone.
And I'm telling you, we won't get rid of him that easily. Everyone's being too hopeful here.
No talking bollocks. Once Yobb's created an army, he'll shit himself and run back to Hungary.
And why would he do that? If he was so craven as to run away from the first army that crossed his path, he would never have made it all the way here.
But this won't be just any army. It will be an army like the likes of which this country's never seen before.
You're living in a dream world. It's only going to be a scarecrow to keep Sigismund from murdering the lords one by one.
Is your mind in it at all?
It'll be a fucking bloodbath.
Sure know how to light it. I'm telling you, give it a year and Sigismund will be gone.
And I'm telling you, we won't get rid of him that easily. Everyone's being too hopeful here.
No talking bollocks. Once Yobb's created an army, he'll shit himself and run back to Hungary.
And why would he do that? If he was so craven as to run away from the first army that crossed his path, he would never have made it all the way here.
But this won't be just any army. It
Don't drag it out. I want to play too, you know.
It's only going to be a scarecrow to keep Sigismund from murdering the lords one by one. An open battle breaks out. It'll be a fucking bloodbath.
I'm telling you, give it a year and Sigismund will be gone.
And I'm telling you, we won't get rid of him that easily. Everyone's being too hopeful here.
No talking bollocks. Once Jon raises an army, he'll sit himself and run back to Hungary.
And why would he do that? If he was so crazy
What happened?
to run
Did
away
you forget to count?
from the first army that crossed his path, he would never have made it all the way here.
But this won't be just any army. It'll be an army like the likes of which this country's never seen before.
You're living in a dream world. It's only going to be a scarecrow to keep Sigismund from murdering the lords one by one. An open battle breaks out. It'll be a fucking bloodbath.
Sure know how to light it. I'm telling you, give it a year and Sigismund will be gone.
And I'm telling you, we won't get rid of him that easily. Everyone's being too...
Do you need a bit more time?
No talking bollocks. Once Jon raises an army, he'll sit himself and run back to Hungary.
And why would he do that? If he was so craven as to run away from the first army that crossed his path, he would never have made it all the way here.
But this won't be just any army. It'll be an army like the likes of which this country's never seen before.
You're living in a dream world. It's only going to be a scarecrow to keep Sigismund from murdering the lords one by one. An open battle breaks out. It'll be a fucking bloodbath.
Sure know how to light it.
Do you want some help?
I'm telling you, give it a year and Sigismund will be gone.
And I'm telling you, we won't get rid of him that easily. Everyone's being too hopeful.
No talking bollocks. Once Jon raises an army, he'll sit himself and run back to Hungary.
And why would he do that? If he was so craven as to run away from the first army that crossed his path, he would never have made it all the way here.
But this won't be just any army. It'll be an army like the likes of which this country's never seen before.
You're living in a dream world. It's only going to be a scarecrow to keep Sigismund from murdering the lords one by one. An open battle breaks out. It'll be a fucking bloodbath.
Sure know how to light it. I'm telling you, give it a year and Sigismund will be gone.
And I'm telling you, we won't get rid of him that easily. Everyone's being too hopeful here.
No talking bollocks. Once Jon raises an army, he'll sit himself and run back to Hungary.
And why would he do that? If he was so craven as to run away from the first army that crossed his path, he would never have made it all the way here.
But this won't be just any army. It'll be an army like the likes of which this country's never
Is your
seen
mind
before.
in it at all?
You're living in a dream world. It's only going to be a scarecrow to keep Sigismund from murdering the lords one by one. An open battle breaks out. It'll be a fucking bloodbath.
Sure know how to light it. I'm telling you, give it a year and Sigismund will be gone.
And I'm telling you, we won't get rid of him that easily. Everyone's being too hopeful here.
No talking bollocks. Once Jon raises an army, he'll sit himself and run back to Hungary.
And why would he do that? If he was so craven as to run away...
Don't drag it out. I want to play too, you know.
He would never have made it all the way here.
Well, this won't be just any army. It'll be an army like the likes of which this country's never seen before.
You're living in a dream world. It's only going to be a scarecrow to keep Sigismund from murdering the lords one by one. An open battle breaks out. It'll be a fucking bloodbath.
Sure know how to light them. I'm telling you, give it a year and Sigismund will be gone.
And I'm telling you, we won't get rid of him that easily. Everyone's being too hopeful.
What happened? Did you forget to count?
Once Jobbs raises an army, he'll sit himself and run back to Hungary.
And why would he do that? If he was so craven as to run away from the first army that crossed his path, he would never have made it all the way here.
Well, this won't be just any army. It'll be an army like the likes of which this country's never seen before.
You're living in a dream world. It's only going to be a scarecrow to keep Sigismund from murdering the lords one by one. An open battle breaks out. It'll be a fucking bloodbath.
Sure know how to light it.
Do you need a bit more time?
I'm telling you, give it a year and Sigismund will be gone.
And I'm telling you, we won't get rid of him that easily. Everyone's being too hopeful here.
You're talking bollocks. Once Jobbs raises an army, he'll sit himself and run back to Hungary.
And why would he do that? If he was so craven as to run away from the first army that crossed his path, he would never have made it all the way here.
Well, this won't be just any army. It'll be an army like the likes of which this country's never seen before.
You're living in a dream world. It's only going to be a scarecrow to keep Sigismund from murdering the lords one by one. An open battle breaks out.
Do you want some help?
I'm telling you, give it a year and Sigismund will be gone.
And I'm telling you, we won't get rid of him that easily. Everyone's being too hopeful here.
You're talking bollocks. Once Jobbs raises an army, he'll sit himself and run back to Hungary.
And why would he do that? If he was so craven as to run away from the first army that crossed his path, he would never have made it all the way here.
Well, this won't be just any army. It'll be an army like the likes of which this country's never seen before.
You're living in a dream world. It's only going to be a scarecrow to keep Sigismund from murdering the lords one by one. An open battle breaks out. It'll be a fucking bloodbath.
Sure know how to light them. I'm telling you, give it a year and Sigismund will be gone.
And I'm telling you, we won't get rid of him that easily. Everyone's being too hopeful here.
You're talking bollocks. Once Jobbs raises an army, he'll sit himself and run back to Hungary.
And why would he do that? If he was so craven as to run away from the first army...
Is your mind in it at all?
He would never have made it all the way here.
Well, this won't be just any army. It'll be an army like the likes of which this country's never seen before.
You're living in a dream world. It's only going to be a scarecrow to keep Sigismund from murdering the lords one by one. An open battle breaks out. It'll be a fucking bloodbath.
Sure know how to light it. I'm telling you, give it a year and Sigismund will be gone.
And I'm telling you, we won't get rid of him that easily. Everyone's being too hopeful here.
Don't drag it out. I want to play too, you know.
He'll sit himself and run back to Hungary. And why would he do that? If he was so craven as to run away from the first army that crossed his path, he would never have made it all the way here. But this won't be just any army. An army like the likes of
You know you can throw again, right?
You're living in a dream world.
That's a great start, damn it.
Scarecrow to keep Sigismund from murdering the lords one by one. If an open battle breaks out, it'll be a fucking bloodbath. Sure know how to light I'm telling you, give it a year and Sigismund will be gone. And I'm telling you, we won't get rid of him that easily.
There, that turned out all right.
Not talking bollocks. Once the odds raises an army, he'll sit himself and run
Your
back to
turn.
Hungary. And why would he do that? If he was so craven as to run away from the first army that crossed his path, he would never have made it all the way here. Well, this won't be just any army. It will be an army like the likes of which this country's never seen before. You're living in a dream world. It's only going to be a scarecrow to keep Sigismund from murdering the lords one by one. If an open battle breaks out, it'll be a fucking bloodbath. Sure know how to light.
Hopefully I'll do it again. Just like that.
I'm telling you, give it a year and Sigismund will be gone. And I'm telling you, we won't get rid of him that easily. Everyone's being too hopeful here. Not talking bollocks. Once the odds raises an army, he'll sit himself and run back to Hungary. And why would he do that? If he was so craven as to run away from the first army that crossed his path, he would never have made it all the way here. Well, this won't be just any army. It will be an army like the likes of which this country's never seen before. You're living in a dream world. It's only going to be a scarecrow to keep Sigismund from murdering the lords one by one. If an open battle breaks out, it'll be
Well,
a
you're not
fucking
afraid of anything.
Sure know how to light. I'm telling you, give it a year and Sigismund will be gone. And I'm telling you, we won't get rid of him that easily. Everyone's being too hopeful here. Not talking bollocks. Once the odds
Finally a win!
he'll sit himself and run back to Hungary. And why would he do that? If he was so craven as to run... No use at all.
Having a good time? It's a fucking... Well, what are you missing? There's wine, food. Don't you dare get into a fight with anyone. Aye, I forgot. Only the young guy... Leave it out, or they wouldn't have to force me. How come you you're still here, sir. Weren't you supposed to travel with some...
All hail Yobst. He sorted things out here nicely. He got my money for us. But you know how I explained to the Margrave that I'm not going anywhere. I'm too...
did you at least...
Nothing to discuss. It's the pride of our family. We can fit in 3...
I'd bet my right arm old...
What? In Ratai?
Deal with him yourself, though. I won't be your gent's mess...
Have you ever thought about getting married? It would make a lot of things easier. In the simplest terms, I'm offering you a business deal, without any ulterior motive. I am far too old for some sentimental courtship.
You're amazing. But you need my answer. I appreciate your friendship, but I'd rather run my own.
I understand. Let's at least drink to your success.
And let's drink to the future of Lady Whiskers. May her marriage to Lord Caton...
Same to you.
What? Oh, come on!
I've got some warm wood downstairs. They'll all need...
So,
from...
And you... I should...
Anyway, I don't know nothing. Try asking my...
I've come to...
Really? Do you play dice?
You mean...
You strip...
All right.
Fucking bloodbath.
I'm curious to see you play.
I'm telling you, give it a year and Sigismund will be gone.
And I'm telling you, we won't get rid of him that easily. Everyone's being too hopeful here.
No talking bollocks. Once Yobst raises an army, he'll sit himself and run back to Hungary.
And why would he do that? If he was so craven as to run away from the first army that crossed his path, he would never have made it all the way.
Hopefully I'll do it again.
But this won't be just any army. It will be an army like the likes of which this country's never
And
seen
now we'll
before.
see.
You're living in a dream world. It's only going to be a scarecrow to keep singing.
There, that turned out right.
Lords, one by one. An open battle breaks out. It'll be a fucking bloodbath.
Now I'll show you how it's done. Good game.
Give it a year and Sigismund will be gone.
And I'm telling you, we won't get rid of him that easily.
A ver, esto me está vacilando este juego, ¿no? Esto me acaba de vacilar ahora mismo, en mi puta cara. En mi puta cara me acaba de vacilar el juego. Vamos.
They're trying to agree on something they won't remember.
So...
From...
And you... There's no...
Right, and try it. Do you...
All right.
Run back to Hungary.
I've heard about you, but you can't beat me.
To run away from the first army that crossed his path, he would never have made it all the way here.
But this won't be just any army. It will be an army like the likes of which this country's never seen before.
You're living in a dream world. It's only going to be a scarecrow to keep Sigismund from murdering the lords one by one. An open battle breaks out. It'll be a fucking bloodbath.
I'm telling you, give it a
tell you, we won't get rid of him that easily. Everyone's being too hopeful here.
No talking bollocks. Once the Oxford raises an army, he'll sit himself and run back to Hungary.
If I was
Why
you,
would he do that?
I'd take it.
If he was so craven as to run away from the first army that crossed his path, he would never have made it all the way here.
But this won't be just any army. It'll be an army like the likes of which this country's never seen before.
You're living in a dream world.
That'll
It's
work.
only going to be a scarecrow to keep Sigismund from murdering the lords one by one.
And now I'll fuck it all up.
Breaks out.
Or not.
It'll be a fucking bloodbath.
Sure know how to light it.
There, that turned out all right. Why'd I even try?
I'm telling you, give it a year and Sigismund will be gone.
And I'm telling you, we won't get rid of him that easily. Everyone's being too hopeful here.
No talking bollocks. Once the Oxford raises an army, he'll sit himself and run back to Hungary.
And why would he do that? If he was so craven as to run away from the first army that crossed his path, he would never have made it all the way here.
But this won't be just any army. It'll be an army like the likes of which this country's never seen before.
You're living in a dream world. It's only going to be a scarecrow to keep Sigismund from
Why'd I
murdering
even
the
try?
lords one by one. An open battle breaks out. It'll be a fucking bloodbath.
Sure know how to light it. I'm telling you, give it a year and Sigismund will be gone.
And I'm telling you, we won't get rid of him that easily. Everyone's being too hopeful here.
No talking bollocks. Once the Oxford raises an
Don't be a
army,
coward.
he'll sit himself and run back to Hungary.
And why would he do that? If he was so craven as to run away from the first army that crossed his path, he would never have made it all the way here.
Now I'll show you how it's done. Why'd I even try?
You're living in a dream world. It's only going to be a scarecrow to keep Sigismund from murdering the lords one by one. An open battle breaks out. It'll be a fucking bloodbath.
Sure know how to light it. I'm telling you, give it a year and Sigismund will be gone.
And I'm telling you, we won't get rid of him that easily.
And now we'll see.
Everyone's being too hopeful here.
Sacra!
Once the Oxford raises an army, he'll sit himself and run back to Hungary.
And why would he do that? If he was so craven as to run away from the first army that crossed his path, he would never have made it all the way here.
But this won't be just any army. It'll be an army like the likes of which this country's never
Mother of God! What are you punishing me for?
It's only going to be a scarecrow to keep Sigismund from murdering the lords one by one. An open battle breaks out. It'll be a fucking bloodbath.
Sure know how to light them.
Jesus wept.
I'm telling you, give it a year and Sigismund will be gone.
And I'm telling you, we won't get rid of him that easily. Everyone's being too hopeful here.
No talking bollocks. Once the Oxford raises an army, he'll sit himself and run back to Hungary.
And why would he do that? If he was so craven as to run
wept.
away from the first army that crossed his path, he would never have made it all the way here.
But this won't be just any army.
I spent half.
Good day.
Sorry.
What?
I haven't...
He didn't have to choose me.
Wait.
It's been a... I was afraid...
You haven't changed.
But I have. And you've changed too. Not at all.
And how have you been all this time?
Not really. When I also got married, young Sir Christ.
Tell me more about...
She's a big girl now. She's a maid here.
Well, aren't you worried about her?
Even as a little girl, she...
And your husband?
Cooper, he...
God grant... Why don't we go and...
You really... You ought go and have a drink and stop chasing girls.
Where...
Why?
It's not for me.
Aha, it's Lord O...
You farmyard beast!
The red'll be good, I hope.
Now there's a piece of horseflesh for you, Rootard. Not like that nag of yours.
What the hell do you feed it with? It looks more like a damn bull.
Sir! Sir! There's some horsemen right out front of the fortress.
Ah, that's Peter of Pisac. Wouldn't come to the council, but he is coming happily to the celebration, you old fox.
Come on in, sir. There's wine aplenty.